Hey friends, Coach Casey here, and happy to see you again in this little thing we've been calling Coffee Talk here. I believe this is episode 4. Idea being that, everyone else is taking a smoke break, and hopefully you runners out there and fitness enthusiasts are, I don't know, you're taking a coffee break or you're relaxing for a little bit. So 5-10 minutes of running, fitness talk here for you to kind of keep you motivated throughout the week. So today I wanted to address something that is actually a topic I've been thinking about and researching, I feel like formally and informally for the last year and a half. And really it began probably back in the day when I was a young competitive swimmer and trying to create goals for myself, and had a lot of trial and error in how to create a good goal. Sometimes it felt like a lot more error than maybe figuring out how to do it right. And then I feel like I also stumbled into doing it wrong as well here recently. And this is probably what sent me on this journey. So when I was a young kid and I first learned about making goals, I was very excited about it and kind of just thought, well, geez, if I could make a goal of anything, then then I'm going to kind of shoot for the moon. I'm going to climb the mountain. I'm going to do the biggest thing I can imagine. And then I was introduced to the idea of SMART goals, things that are specific, measurable, attainable, or even some would say relevant or realistic, and then time bound or time oriented. And so sometimes that's where we stop in making our goals. And that is what I would describe as the what goal. It's what my goal is going to be. And I stumbled into making the wrong goal again as I got older, and making the goal of qualifying for the Boston Marathon. And it's specific, it's measurable, it was attainable, it was realistic, it was time bound. However, it was a what goal. It didn't have a lot of why attached to it. And I've shared with some of my athletes personally, and I feel like this is an appropriate time too, is just to say, by the time I ran the Boston Marathon, I didn't feel very motivated to do it. So then once the marathon was over, I needed nothing more than a break from running. And I even had to conjure up a lot of motivation, even train for the race that I'd spent several years trying to get to. It's because I probably didn't spend enough time thinking about the why I was wanting to qualify for the Boston Marathon, why I was wanting to get faster at marathons. In the same way, when I was a younger kid, I didn't think much about why I was maybe trying to be a scholarship athlete for swimming. I just knew that that's what I wanted to do. I didn't have a why attached to it. I didn't slow down long enough to ask myself, why do I want to have this certain level of achievement? And I think that this is something that I've also challenged other runners and people that are in my sphere of influence and people I'm coaching to think more about, why are you running? And I would even say that sometimes when we don't think enough about why we're running, it leads us to just have a really clear idea of what we're running to, what we're trying to accomplish, which really leads to burnout. Because many times those are external motivators. These are things that are driven by other people's other expectations. So for instance, a time qualifying standard that someone else has given, that gives me notoriety that someone else has cast on me, or potentially a number that we want to see on a scale because we want to look a certain way on the beach or in the bedroom even. So these are external motivators. These aren't necessarily motivators that are going to drive us to get out of bed in the morning, that are going to get us to go back out for that second time, or that are going to keep us on the track to finish the workout. These are all external things. And versus internal motivators. The internal, so we kind of have internal versus external motivators. And with the internal motivators, this is more of the why I'm going to do this. And so I mentioned the SMART goal, which would kind of point us towards a really good what goal, but the why goal, how do we go about fashioning an appropriate why goal? I've kind of been tinkering around with and thinking and filtering my own why goals through a set of kind of a different acronym, an acronym I've called VIRAL. And with VIRAL, the V is stands for vision or quest that I am on. So the why I run, why I am physically active, is directly related to the rest of the vision for my life of wanting to be a man of God that can be an example to my wife, to my kids, to my community, to my church, to the people that I I care about the most. That's part of my vision for my life. And running is just a piece of how it happens. The I is the internal, that this is not, that I want to come back and look and make sure that I've asked myself why, maybe 3 or 4 times. Why do I want to run a particular speed? And really, it's not that what, it's, there's something related that the running of a particular accomplishment or a speed becomes a check mark versus than, or a point in the journey, let's say, as opposed to the destination. And appropriately spending time internalizing it and thinking about it and asking myself why over and over again helps me to get beyond thinking of the what goal as the destination, and instead makes it just a point in the journey. Then the R in all this is it restores my soul. This may sound a little wishy-washy for you, but go with me here for a second, that there is some way that my fitness activity, my running, my obstacle racing, whatever your sport or pain of choice is, hopefully it helps you accomplish and achieve that V, that vision, that quest that your life is. It is making you a better person. It is leading you towards becoming a better person. And then A is an attitude that it is going to generate a positive attitude in my life. I'm going to have fun doing and pursuing this goal. It won't always be fun. Sometimes it will require grit and perseverance, which is okay because that is related to the R. It restores, it makes me better. It restores my soul into a grittier, more persevering person. However, the attitude I have about it is that this is a chance for me to become something better today than I was, say, 5 years ago. And the running is just a piece of that. So again, this is all related to why we choose to do this. And then the L is that this thing has got to lead you. Perhaps you've heard the saying, your why needs to make you cry. And that's what I mean by the leading part, that it conjures motivation within you. It's entirely, it's something that's going to be very specific to you. It's entirely specific to you. What leads me will not lead you. So I don't know that I can necessarily hand you my why, or excuse me, what leads me, but I could say that a lot of times for me, when I'm in the midst of a race, I want to be able to look at my kids and look at Karen, look at my wife in the face and say, I tried as hard as I could. I trained as hard as I could. I ran with integrity. That I didn't quit on myself. That I want to be a model of someone who doesn't quit, that perseveres. That leads me, that drives me to keep trying, even when I would perhaps be tired. We're going to take the next few weeks to think about properly creating a why goal, and then also a good what goal. And then that also leads us to how. So there's kind of a why we do what we do, what it is that we're pursuing, and then how we go about doing that. So if you have questions or comments related to how you go about creating your why goal, please include those in the comments below. It'd be great to have a conversation with you on this and just continue to learn. Or if you have favorite books or blog posts or podcasts you've come across this stuff, share it with the rest of the community so we can all be learning together. So again, hope this is helpful, and look forward to seeing you again. Please like and share this, as this helps kind of just get the message out that we're trying to run for a reason and not just because we're trying to impress somebody else or impress that inner demon that will never be satisfied. So hopefully this adds great value and something to ponder and kind of keeps you going through the week. Thanks for the coffee talk. Have a great day and a great run. We'll talk to you later.